Hey guys, Kat here, and today I want to talk about my binge eating disorder recovery. This is a video that I've been wanting to do for a long time, and I know a lot of you are struggling, especially right now in this crazy time right now. There's a lot we can't control. Some of you have to take care of others and you kind of neglect yourselves. We're surrounded by all of this food. We're stressed, we're scared. I pretty much call it like a breeding ground for eating disorders right now. So if you're struggling right now, I know how you feel, and hopefully my journey and what has helped for me helps you on your journey. Now, I have made videos in the past about my recovery and stuff, but it covered a lot about my anorexia journey, and I really wanted to make this more in tune with the binge eating disorder because I've been getting a lot of messages as of late on it on Instagram and Facebook and stuff, and so I felt like this was a really important time to put this out, and it's more searchable so people can find it, and hopefully it helps more people out there like you guys. So a little background though, I did have anorexia for about 10 years, and then I went into binge eating disorder for about 3 years. And I think it's super common to go from that restrictive part of it into binge eating just because we've gone through the cycle of restricting and then eating so much and then trying to burn it off through like calories or purging in some other kind of way. I know where you guys are coming from. I've been there with binging. I would go downstairs and eat thousands of calories at night when, my mom was sleeping. I would keep it hidden, and it was just, I felt very ashamed, and I'm a fitness trainer. Like, I should not be going through this. I should be able to control my eating and all that jazz. Everyone had me on this pedestal of health, and why couldn't I be that? I'm gonna start out by going through some things that I tried to do that didn't work for me. One thing was hiring a coach, and I actually hired 2 coaches. I'm like, maybe I just need accountability. Maybe I just need someone there to be like, here are your macros, here are your calories. Okay, you'll be fine, blah, 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 blah. That didn't work for me. And it wasn't because they weren't good. They were awesome at what they were doing, but I was not mentally ready for that. And I had that honeymoon stage of being awesome the first week or 2 and being on it and tracking everything. And it worked out so well. And I'm like, this is what I needed. This was the missing link to get rid of my binging. But again, it was restricting and it was too much, it was too calculated, and I was still scared of foods. I was still scared to eat out, even more actually, because of feeling like I would disappoint my coach because I wasn't following like what was healthy. And it wasn't even just then disappointing myself, it was also disappointing another person. So then it was just like a double whammy of disappointment and not doing well. And so that led me even deeper into binging, and I messaged them and I was like, I'm not ready right now. I can't do this. I'm sorry. Yeah. There were people that I followed that could track macros, and instead of tracking, calories, and they're like, oh, it's helped me so much. I have all this food freedom because now it's like, oh, I can eat a Pop-Tart and it follows my macros and it's all that jazz. And I'm like, oh, that's great. Maybe this is for me. It wasn't for me. It was still too much tracking. It was still too restrictive for me at that time. And I don't want to diss like counting macros and calories and stuff completely, because for some people that does actually work, and maybe in the future for me that will work towards my goals with my mental state being there. But at the time it was not for me, and you kind of need to go step by step and be like, can I handle this right now? Is this for me right now? And just because it's not right now doesn't mean it won't be for you in the future. Another thing that I tried to do was read a bunch of books, and it was the same thing where it was that honeymoon stage. I'm like, yes, this is gonna work. I'm not binging. And a week or 2 later, it was back to the same old stuff. So there's stuff mentally that I just needed to get through and process and overcome before any binging would stop. And then there was one more thing. Justin was like, oh, you can call me. You can call me before you think you're gonna binge. And I felt too embarrassed, and I didn't take up on that. And yeah, I just felt like I should be able to handle it by myself, which was a problem. So now I'm gonna go over the things that did help me on my journey, and it was a roller coaster. Let me tell you that. It was not straightforward. It's not like, here are the steps that are going to help you. Everyone's journey is different, this is what mine was like, and hopefully some of these tips or some of these things that I went through will help you on your journey. But yeah, I haven't binged for over 2 years now, which is very exciting, and I'm hoping to keep going this way, but it seems good. So the first step, I knew I needed to change. I started with that thought, and I started with, I just want to be able to eat food and not obsess over it, and be able to leave food on my plate and not feel so ravenous all the time. I would be in awe of my sisters who would like order whatever they wanted at a restaurant. They would order a dessert if they wanted to, and they didn't feel guilty about it. I would be in awe when they would eat at the house and they would leave food on their plate. I thought that was crazy. I wanted to stop constantly thinking about food. I wanted to stop going downstairs and eating a bunch of calories for no reason on autopilot. I wanted to stop hating on my body. I wanted to start making peace with food and be okay with it. I wanted to stop feeling guilty about it. So the first step was knowing that it was a problem. So something that I did was I journaled a lot, and I journaled to the point of it being unfiltered, because throughout my life I had always written as if someone was going to find it, and I was scared that they would find it and judge me for whatever I would write. But instead I wrote exactly how I felt. I wrote what happened when I binged, after I binged, how I felt, see if there was a correlation. I would just write it and without judgment towards myself. And then I made the ultimate and crazy goal to make peace with food. And this is kind of crazy because, you know, I've been thinking about it black and white this whole time with the whole diet mentality. It's like, this is good, eat this, not that, blah, 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 blah. How about if I want some chocolate, I'm gonna eat some chocolate. I'm not craving some ice. There's a whole lot of this food is good, this food isn't, and you shouldn't add oils, and you shouldn't eat things with butter. It's just so much shouldn't. But what I should do is just make my peace with food and be okay with having a cookie if I want a cookie, if I want an extra cookie. And let me tell you, making peace with food is scary, because you are like, I'm just gonna go crazy. I'm gonna eat all the food in sight. And at first, yes, I did eat more food, and I allowed myself whatever and how much I wanted to. And yes, again, that is scary, and you have to kind of trust yourself, but I did it. I took that jump, and initially, yes, I gained some weight, but it fell off eventually because I no longer had this obsession with food, this need, this desire for it that I had been restricting from myself for so long. And I remember going to the mall, and there was one of those cookie sandwiches with the cookie and then the frosting in the middle, another cookie on the bottom. I'm like, oh my God, I loved these when I was a kid. And I went up to the counter and I'm like, I'll take that one. And she's like, okay. And she rung me up, and I had that cookie, and I ate it, and it was amazing, and I didn't feel guilty about it. And I was like, Kat, it's cool. It's okay to have this cookie. It's not black and white. This isn't gonna throw me off my goals completely. I'm just gonna enjoy it completely. And then I went to restaurants, and I ordered what I wanted. I didn't order the dumb salad that I didn't actually want. I ordered the burger that I actually wanted, and it was amazing. And then sometimes I wouldn't eat the whole thing because I realized I was full, because I made peace with food. So when you stop guilting yourself and you stop restricting yourself so much after dieting so long, it is so freeing. In relation with making peace with food, I conquered fear foods. So those would be like avocados, because they're like higher in calories and higher in fat. Pizza, pasta, all that jazz. It was open. It was open for me if I wanted it, if I craved it, I just let myself. And so this helped to take away my obsession with food. I wasn't just looking at pictures of it and being sad about myself. I was actually eating it, enjoying it, and yeah. And something that helped me with this was watching those like 10,000 calorie challenges, because I realized like they had like a bigger eating day, but it didn't affect them completely. So it was kind of a weird thing that helped me, but it did. And it was very satisfying to watch as well, because watching someone eat a ton of donuts, there's something about it. Another thing that I did was I stopped weighing myself. And this is something that can mess with your head so much. It can ruin your day if you see a number on the scale that you don't like, or even if you see a number that you do like. Maybe for the rest of the day, you're like, well, I weighed less today, I'll just eat more today, even though you're not really listening to your hunger and your fullness cues. You're just thinking like, the scale said I could do it. Or maybe the next day you don't weigh what you did the day before, even though it's just water weight. It messes with you a lot. Speaking of tracking, I stopped tracking calories and macros. I stopped tracking the exercise, the calories that I burned off during exercise. So again, tracking calories and macros is not necessarily a bad thing, and it helps so many people. And if they are prepared in their journey, like they're mentally okay with it, and if they realize that it's not a forever thing, it's just really helpful with like portion sizes and all that jazz, and really learning what your body needs to fuel it for your activities and stuff. Totally cool, yes. But some of us, we get kind of obsessed with it, and that's where it becomes a problem. So if that is you, maybe it is time to take a break from that just for a little bit. It's not, again, a forever thing. Maybe it is. Maybe you'll feel so free from it, and that's cool too. But it's not necessary if you're mentally not ready. I also stopped tracking how many calories I would burn in a workout, and I wouldn't do workouts just to burn calories. I wasn't running just because I wanted to burn off my dinner or all that jazz, and then I would be super hungry and then I would binge. It's just a cycle. So I stopped doing that. And then I also stopped wearing like fitness trackers, which I know it's like your best friend because it's right there on your wrist and you have a nice suntan right there from it being with you all times. But that was an issue for me to see, just like the numbers. Again, I was just obsessing over it. Another thing I did was I started talking about it. I started talking about it with you guys. I started talking about it with my best friend. I started talking about it with Justin. And even though they may not completely understand and they admit to it, just them listening and being there for you is huge, because you feel really alone in this weird mental journey of yours, but you don't have to be alone. And just having them there again was just a reminder that I wasn't alone and I didn't have to go through it alone. And to go off on, I stopped, doing the workouts that made me burn a lot of calories, I started switching to performance goals instead of like calorie burn goals. And having these performance goals makes workouts fun again, because you no longer are going for like a body weight goal. You're going for, hey, my body can do these awesome things, and you appreciate your body in so many different ways, and you see how cool you actually are and all of your capabilities and stuff. And it's not just this number on the scale that is affected by hormones and sodium intake and all that jazz, but instead like, yo, I'm a ninja, I can do all this cool stuff and jazz. And by not tracking calories and stuff, it also made me enjoy doing like low impact stuff again. Because it wasn't about like, this isn't burning enough calories. It's like, no, I'm doing this mobility work because this is important to keep my body, functional and safe and healthy. And it's appreciating my body in a whole different way. And it's slowing down not only my body, but also my mind. So having that mentality really helped me to realize like, my body is the most important thing I own. I know a lot of you are gonna be like, oh, your soul is too. And I'm like, yes, that is true. But physically, your body is the most important thing that you own. And so it's important to take care of it in all the ways. It's literally your home. This is our little like turtle shell. This is our home. And this made me really just love my body for what it could do. Like it could let me just do the things that I love doing, moving my body in beautiful ways and treating it with kindness. And back to me journaling, it made me realize that I wasn't taking time for me. I was taking care of a lot of other people and stuff with my job and with personal training. It's very, very rewarding, but also you get to learn like there's a lot of mental stuff also with your clients. And I would be so mentally involved for them that I forgot to take care of myself. And even with like keeping up with like my YouTube and all that, writing comments back to you guys, which I love doing, and I have found a balance now. But before I didn't find that balance, and I didn't take the time that I needed to for me, for self-love. And you guys know I'm a big advocate of self-love and taking care of yourself in all the ways possible. But yeah, personal training ended up being quite draining for me, and I actually took a break from it, and I decided to work for my friend for a while. And I just needed that time for me and to figure out what I wanted to do and if I wanted to continue training and what was making me unhappy at the time. So all in all, I did it backwards. I was taking care of my physical health before my mental health. And once I started taking care of my mental health, then everything fell into place. And I think that's so important to know and to learn. Like, skipping steps in your recovery is pretty much like building a pyramid from the top down. It doesn't work. It doesn't. Take care of your mental health at the bottom, and then everything else, stack, 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 will fall into place. And then once I really started taking care of my mental health, then again, everything fell into place where instead of feeling like, oh, I should be eating this, it's like I wanted to, because I wanted to take care of my body. It's no longer should. It's like, no, I want to feel good. I want to fuel my body with beautiful words, beautiful thoughts, beautiful movements, and beautiful food too. I know binging feels shameful, but it's very, very real in our heads. And it's important to take care of our heads and our mind, and what you're going through is real. So I don't want you to feel like it's not and that it should be pushed aside. You are important, and it's important to take care of you first. So how have I been now? Well, I haven't binged for over 2 years now, and I eat intuitively. I listen to my body's hunger and fullness cues. Some days I eat a little bit more, some days I eat a little bit less. I still don't track the calories I burn. I move with the movement that feels good for me and my body and my goals. I make so many performance goals now. You guys see me on Instagram maybe. And like working out is playtime now. It's just fun for me. It's not a punishment anymore. I eat foods. I eat all foods, all the foods. I eat chocolate. I go out to restaurants now. And something that I never thought I would actually go back to is I started weighing myself again, and I'm okay with it. And it's so nice. Now, how did I get to this? Well, it was like the goal I made with making peace with food. I made it my goal. I wanted to be okay. And probably like 6 months ago, I could not do this mentally because I was not prepared. But right now I am in a really good mental state, and it's just towards certain goals that I have that will actually help with my performance goals. So it's not just like, but it will help with my performance goals. So I want you to know that some of these steps that I take are not going to be like a forever thing. Like, maybe we'll be able to go back to tracking food and stuff towards your goals. But if you are not there mentally, it is not worth it. It is not worth your mental health. So really take the time to learn yourself, because you're your own best friend. You're with yourself 24/7, and it's time to take care of yourself in all the ways possible. Again, beautiful food, beautiful movements, and beautiful thoughts towards yourself. Because if you keep saying, I'm not enough, I suck, blah, 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 then that is going to be absorbed in your brain, and bad things happen. Bad, 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 bad. It just brings on more negativity, and just think about it. Does beating yourself up, does being a bully to yourself help? No. So just remember to take care of your mental health first. It is the most important, and then everything else will fall into place. And remember that you are enough right now. And I hope this helps you guys. Remember, this is what helped me on my journey. This is something that I hope will help you on yours too. I do always have my inbox open on Instagram. I'm better on Instagram than Facebook. So if you want to message me there, or email, or anything you feel comfortable with, go for it. Sometimes we just need someone to talk to, and I just want to be the person for you guys that I wish I had during that time. Just remember that it is possible to recover. Recovery is possible, okay? Get that in your head. Recovery is possible. All right, I hope you guys have an amazing rest of the day. Please feel free to leave a comment. Let me know how you guys are doing during this whole craziness, if it's been affecting you, and if there's anything, any other vlogs or anything that I can do to help you guys on your journey. All right, I will see you soon. Rawr.